83504 with Christian and friends. 83504 for the class and Robert Runte. We are here to talk about the issue of bias evaluation. 83504 with Christian and friends. 83504 for the class and Robert Runte. Bias.
Hello. Today we'll be speaking about the different types of bias in the classroom. We will see firsthand how bias can affect evaluation and assessment. Towards the end of the video, I will give you tips and strategies how to eliminate bias in your own evaluation methods.
Bias is the discrimination against others based on their gender, race, age.
A bias is when someone's treated deliberately unfairly.
Bias is when some people are clearly better than others.
Bias is having a preconceived notion of someone and judging them based on that conceived notion.
Bias is a prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. Many children in their educational careers have dealt with bias evaluations and assessments.
My brother wasn't the strongest student, so teachers had preconceived notions about me, and I had to work that much harder to get good grades.
This girl in my class got a higher grade on the test because the teacher liked her more than me.
My math teacher expected a lot more from me because I'm Asian.
In my sports career, I was chosen over other top athletes due to my popularity. This was a bad bias by the coaches.
Now, let's look at some real-life examples of specific bias in evaluation in the classroom.
Bias.
Class, so can anyone tell me the answer to this? Matt.
22.
22, good answer, Matt. That is correct. This equation.
11.
Matt? 11, let me see. Yeah, 11 as well. Yeah, good job, Matt. Tell me the answer. Matt. 12. Okay, Matt, I want you to remember that when you give answers, you have to raise your hands, right? So people have a turn. Okay. To this equation. Matt again.
4.
Oh, Matt, good job. That was awesome. And now let's try this. Can anyone give me the answer to this? Oh, Patrick.
24.
20. Yes, 24. Good job, Patrick. Okay, Matt. Very good. Patrick. Also very good.
Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second.
Hello?
Hi, Anita.
Hey, what's up?
I just don't have any motivation to work on my physics assignment. Do you want to get together and work on it?
Sure. Okay, see you soon.
Okay, bye. Wow, I'm glad we got the same answers.
Me too.
Okay, now remember, the main theme I want you guys to remember for this lesson is E equals MC squared. Okay, now everyone please hand in your assignments. That was due. Thank you, Matt, Kevin, Anita. Okay, here are your assignments, guys. Good job on them. Matt, Kevin, here you go.
You got a D-, but we have the same answers.
How is that possible?
There's only one word to describe this teacher.
Bias.
Biased.
Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second. Gender bias can be an issue for many teachers. In the opening scene, the teacher is unaware that he did not allow the girl in the classroom to speak, since the boys were shouting out their answers out loud and or gaining the teacher's attention by carrying out various actions to distract the teacher. Many studies have indicated that teachers have a tendency in paying more attention to boys in the classroom as opposed to females, since their findings show that boys tend to be louder and are more animated compared to girls. This scene highlights the fact that the teacher most likely had no intention in singling out the female student, Anita. Unfortunately, the teacher's mark in regards to participation was inaccurate, since the teacher failed to acknowledge that Anita indeed did want to participate, although her attempts were overlooked since it was the boys who seemed to gain the most attention from the teacher. The following scene depicts how gender-biased stereotyping can greatly affect assessment, whether the stereotyping is intentional or not. In this scene, the teacher graded two identical pieces of work differently, since one was completed by a boy, while the other by a girl. This teacher had the common stereotype of assuming boys are better at physics compared to girls. Therefore, he may have subconsciously marked the boy's assignment more lenient compared to the girl's assignment. Bias.
Christian, let's take a look at your portfolio.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, I tried to get my growth throughout the year and put in what you told me to put in, which was getting through all my subjects like math, English, and social, and putting my best works, but I couldn't find any. So what I did was I found one math test, well, actually two of them, one from the start of the year and one for the end, and it shows some growth here.
Wow, you must be really proud of that.
However, I did put what I'm interested in, and I'm really passionate about Chinese culture. So, like, look at this.
I didn't know you were Chinese. I'm Chinese myself.
Oh, wow.
You must be proud of your country.
Yeah.
Wow, this looks great. I don't need to look at much more. Good
Oh,
work.
wow.
Good
Thanks
work.
a lot. Thank you. Thanks.
Let's take a look at your portfolio. Can you tell me about it?
Sure. Well, I've put so much work into it this last year, showing my growth as a student over the last months. I've learned so many things, and I've included all the work for my core subjects.
Wow. Yes, Matt, I can see you put a lot of effort into this. You put your best English paper, science lab, and a social studies current events assignment.
And I focused on a lot of my interests too, like volleyball and my love for Spanish and the whole culture. I've learned so
the
much
coworker
from
that I
values
hated
of,
was Spanish.
Culture there, that my dedication and hard work and commitment has really come through in this.
Oh, Spanish. That's great. Well, your portfolio looks pretty good, but I suggest you should put more work into it and put more interesting things. You're meeting some of the requirements, but some of your stuff is very generic.
Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second.
All right, class, today we have our pop quiz. There you go. For you, for you. All right, you have 30 minutes.
I could do this in my sleep. I can't believe he's testing on this.
Why did I go to Anita's party last night? I want to fail.
I can't believe I hosted a party last night. I'm gonna fail.
Wow, this test was a lot easier than I thought.
All right, everybody, time's up. Please hand in your quizzes. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Patrick. Okay, guys, I said time's up. Please hand in your tests. What's so funny, you two?
Nothing.
Well, I know math comes naturally to the two of you. And in Asia, they have a higher standard for math. So, don't even bother handing it in. I know you two did well anyways.
Yeah.
Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second. These two scenes depict the idea of racial bias within the classroom. In the first scene, the teacher became very interested and impressed by the first student's work after he told her about his love for Chinese culture. Although the first student did not have much material in his portfolio, the teacher overlooked this and seemed to focus more on the fact that they shared the same background instead of actually evaluating his portfolio and its content. When the teacher talked to the second student, she was very impressed by his extensive portfolio at the start, However, her demeanor changed when she had found out that he was Spanish. After the student indicated his passion for the Spanish language, the teacher inadvertently thought about a former coworker she didn't get along with. This affected the way she evaluated Matt's portfolio, and although his work was much better than the first student, he received more criticism. In the second scene, the teacher had a racial stereotype that all Asians are good at math. Therefore, when the two Asian students in the class took extra time and seemed to laugh, the teacher perceived that they were laughing at how easy the pop quiz was. Instead of making the two students hand in their tests like all the other kids in the class, he allowed them to disregard the quiz altogether because he assumed that they would have gotten 100% anyways.
Bias. Okay, here are your unit tests. Okay, and remember guys, for this unit test, for your short answers, I'm only going to mark content. So really focus on content, don't worry about spelling whatsoever.
Wow, there's so many spelling mistakes in the short answer. Patrick can't even spell the. I'm not even going to bother reading this.
Can you identify the bias here?
Please stop the video and ponder for a second.
Hello?
Yo, okay, bro, it's Patrick. What's up?
Oh, hey, Pat, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, dude. I just need some help. I didn't do my social assignment. I was wondering if I can copy off you, bro.
Yeah, sure, no problem. My computer broke down, so I had to write it by hand, but is that okay?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna type mine up anyways.
Alright, sweet.
Okay, thanks, K, bro.
Okay, see you, P-Dog.
Ding dong. Yo, K, bro, you got this stuff?
Right here, man.
Oh, thanks, K, bro. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, this is real good material, bruh. I'm glad I copied Kevin.
Okay class, please hand in your current events assignments. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, thanks, Pat.
No problem, bruh.
Wow, I can hardly read Kevin's writing. Huh, maybe I'll just give him like a 60 or something. Wow, this one's not bad. It's all typed out. Wow, look how professional this looks. It's in a binder and everything. Definitely getting a high mark.
Can you identify the bias here?
Please stop the video and ponder for a second. In these two scenes, we can see what can be called an aesthetic bias. Basically, this is the idea that teachers will consciously or subconsciously tend to mark pieces of work that are neater and more professional. In the first scene, the teacher clearly states to the students that he will not be docking marks for spelling for the test, but instead is looking and focusing on the content of what is written. Unfortunately, when the teacher later marks the tests, he sees how prominent the students misspelled certain words and didn't assess according to his instructions, which was the importance of the content of the work, not the spelling errors. This resulted in another biased evaluation. The second scene depicts two students who hand in the exact same assignments. However, one student's assignment was handwritten and the other was printed. The teacher seemed to struggle reading the crumpled handwritten assignment, but was very impressed with the typewritten one. Consequently, the student who wrote his assignment out by hand received a much lower mark in comparison to the student who typed his assignment out. Again, this shows an aesthetic bias because the two assignments that the friends handed in should have had the same mark, but instead, since the one assignment looked nicer, it received the higher grade.
Bias.
And now for our book presentations. Anita, you're first.
Okay, so the book I did was Harry Potter, the last book. Harry Potter is a series of 7 fantasy novels written by the British author J.K. Rowling. The books chronicle the adventures of the adolescent wizard Harry Potter and his best friends Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, all of them who are students at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The main story concerns Harry's quest to overcome the evil.
Wow, that was great content, but she didn't make any eye contact, and that's the highest weighted thing on this rubric.
And now for Patrick.
Alright, bros, for my book talk today, I'm going to talk about Game of Thrones. And yeah, there's lots of cool characters. There's Jon, And there's Arya and Sansa, and there's the Lannisters, and they're killing people too, and it's an all-around great book. There's just killing, and there's lots of other cool details about eating food, and I loved it.
He made great eye contact, but had horrible content. So he still did well.
Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second.
Okay, class. I'm gonna start walking around and marking your drama skits.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
I do bite my thumb at you, sir.
Oh,
On God. Oh.
you're about to die. Oh no.
Juliet! Where art thou, Juliet? Where...
Keep going, keep going.
They don't even know their lines. They must not have practiced. Definitely giving them a bad mark.
Juliet...
Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second. The couple of scenes in this section look at cultural misunderstanding bias. This type of bias is when two different cultures are not aware of each other's certain attitudes and actions, and as a result can lead to misunderstanding when evaluating students. In the first scenario, the student who is giving her book report presentation does not maintain eye contact with her teacher and peers. This is not a result of a lack in confidence, but an understood cultural norm, since it is rude in her specific culture to maintain constant eye contact with another individual. As a result, in her lack of eye contact, the student received a lower grade than what she deserved. This is because the teacher failed to explain what he was looking for in the presentations, and it so happened that eye contact was of great importance in his assessment. Consequently, the next student who maintained great eye contact with the teacher received a higher mark even though he was lacking important content. The second scenario may seem like a normal situation where a teacher walks to a table or group and the students become quiet. However, in this particular scene, the students who are being evaluated only become quiet as a sign of respect for a teacher or elder. In their particular culture, it is expected of students to be silent when a teacher is present to allow the teacher to speak. Again, the teacher marking this drama skit may have misunderstood the student's actions as lacking confidence, being apathetic, or simply just a lack of acting skills. Bias.
Now to get to know each other a little better, let's introduce ourselves. Let's start over here.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin McLeod.
McLeod! Are you Keith's brother?
Yes, I am.
Art runs in your family. You're going to be a great artist, I can tell. Sorry, keep going.
Hi, my name's Anita Ha.
Okay. What's your art history or background?
Nothing
Oh, that's okay. We're going to learn lots.
I'm Matthew Atkinson.
Atkins. Are you Sarah's brother?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Sarah was kind of a bad, still not really bad, but she was not a very good artist. So we're going to have to work with you. Okay, Kevin, let's see your flower assignment.
Here you go, sir.
Wow, this is really good work. I love the simplicity of this. Look at this. That's awesome. I like the way you use your page, you know? It really shows the emotion that you put right in the middle here.
That's what I was going for, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. You're just like Keith.
Well, thank you.
Okay, Neil, let's see your flower assignment. Oh, wow, look at this. This is really awesome. Can you tell me about these two things?
This is a sun wearing sunglasses. He's evil,
Oh.
and he's killing the bee.
Oh, that's awesome. Great work, Anita. Mr. Atkinson, let's see your... This is the flower assignment, right?
Yep.
Oh.
You don't see it?
Okay, can you just explain this to me?
So,
You know what?
It represents
You know what?
my
Actually,
mom.
you're
'cause
kind
she's
of...
a rose.
Excuse me. You're kind of actually like your sister. You're not really grasping art very well. So I suggest maybe looking into another option. Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second.
Okay, Anita, you can come in for your music test. Yep.
Oh, Canada, our home and native.
That's good, thank you. Can you bring in the next person now? Okay, Matt, you can come in now.
Hi, I'm ready.
Oh, Canada, our home and native.
Okay. That's great, thanks, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
Anita sounded like a wailing pig.
Matt was just terrible too.
Okay, Kevin, you can come here now.
Hi, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
I wrote down the lyrics because I have quite a bit of difficulty with them. Can I start?
You may begin.
Oh, our home and native.
Okay. That's okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for your time.
Thank you too, sir.
Kevin was just horrible.
Okay, Chris, you can come here now.
Chris's singing's gonna have to be bad because all the ones before him were terrible.
Okay. Oh.
You know what? I can't do this anymore. Just leave. Just leave.
What was wrong with my singing, guys?
I don't know, let's hear it.
Okay. Oh, Canada, our home. Oh, was I off tune? Oh. Now I'm doubting myself. Can you identify the bias here? Please stop the video and ponder for a second. The bias shown in these two scenes is a preconceived personal bias. In the first scene, the teacher automatically grades a student's work according to their name and the history that that teacher shares with the family. In this scene, regardless of the quality of the work done by the student, the teacher marks the student fairly high due to the fact he is the brother of a former student who did extremely well in the same activity a couple years ago. The second scene depicts singing tests being carried out. The first 3 students' singing exam didn't go as well as both the teachers and the students had hoped. Therefore, by the time the last student sings, he immediately gets cut off by the teacher without being given a fair chance since his previous peers didn't do so well. Therefore, the teacher also assumed the last student would also score quite low and suspected that no one in the class practiced. Again, this resulted in a bias evaluation because the teacher didn't bother giving the last student a try since he assumed he knew what the end result would be. Now, here are 10 tips to help eliminate bias in your classroom.
Number 1, eliminate stereotyping and assumptions. In a racially biased scene, the teacher assumes that all Asians are good at math, creating pressure for these particular students to live up to that expectation.
Number 2, avoid preconceptions. For example, assuming a student takes after his or her siblings.
Number 3, not allowing personal experiences to affect assessment. Example, teacher negatively reacts to a student who's Hispanic based on an isolated experience, therefore putting the student at an automatic disadvantage as he or she is being assessed regardless of his or her work effort.
Ensure that the wording of texts is understood by all. For example, if a lesson plan is based around football and not everyone understands the game of football, it may not be understood by some students.
Number 5, using student numbers to replace student names. This can help eliminate bias because the teacher can no longer associate a name, face, or personality to the anonymous number.
Number 6, ensure each student has an equal opportunity to participate in class. One way to do this is to have a teacher draw each student's names out of a jar so no one is missed.
Number 7, secondary marker. Allow another teacher to assess students with you since he or she is more unlikely to have a biased opinion.
Get to know your students' cultural practices and background. Teachers must be sensitive to each student's cultural backgrounds as their own customs may be different than ours. So what they deem as appropriate and expected might be different than what the teacher does.
Number 9, teachers must take breaks during the marking assessment process so they are able to assess students accurately. Example, it's important so teachers don't wear themselves out during assessment periods because they can give students inaccurate marks if they're exhausted and frustrated.
Number 10, create exams with a variety of testing styles. Written, multiple choice, matching, short answer. For example, sometimes students perform poorly based on the format of some tests, which overshadows their true understanding of concepts.
As you can see, bias can filter into the classroom very easily, and it is up to teachers to try and eliminate instances of this. By following these 10 tips, you'll be able to create an effective learning environment for your students and be able to assess their skills and knowledge fairly and effectively. Thank you.
Christian and friends. Ed 3504 for the class and Robert Runte. We are here to talk about the issue of bias evaluation. Ed 3504 with Christian and friends. Ed 3504 for the class and Robert Runte. Bias.
Each teacher must be sensitive and aware that each culture student has a specific culture which...
I will give you tips and strategies. How to... Okay.
Into another option.
Okay, Matt, you can come in now.
Hi, I'm
Okay, Kevin, you can come in now. Okay, Kevin, you can come in now. Okay, Kevin, you can come in now.
Why? Hi, sir. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I just wrote down the lyrics here because I had a bit of difficulty. Hi, sir, thank you for the opportunity. Hi, sir, thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Kevin, you can come here now.
Hi, sir, thank you for the opportunity. Lyrics because I had difficulty remembering.
What was wrong with that?
Oh, okay.